All right. How's everyone doing? Welcome to another episode of Game Set Live. That's right. That's right.
That's right.
Uh-huh. It is glorious to see everybody and to be seen by everybody. And thank you for telling a friend. What we've got on screen for you right now is Resident Evil 8 with the Winter's Expansion running third person at 1440p, 60 frames a second for your viewing goodness. That's right. Well, not to ponder on things too long. Mr. Bushido, brother, how you been?
Yeah, not too bad, brother. Not too bad. Making it, though. Making it.
All right. Mr. Powerman 4K.
I finally beat Cyberpunk. I just want to pump that in.
Oh,
there. Yeah. I love that game. I want to go back and finish it a couple more times for the other endings.
Oh, Thimber wants to say, that's right. He wants me to say, that's right. All right. Powerman 4K. Brother, how you been?
I've been okay, man. I'm actually sick again. It's really getting I feel like I got something every other week, but the kid's been in school and they brought home I think it was like RSV or some kind of respiratory thing.
Wow.
So I'm battling that, my other kid just got over COVID. So, just taking it easy, resting up. I have been playing a lot of Modern Warfare 2, and I've been playing Overwatch 2, which has been a lot of fun. Me and my brother have been playing. So, but yeah, other than that, man, just relaxing, man. I'm excited to get on these topics. I apologize in advance for anybody in the chat if I upset you and or offend you, but this is just who I am. So, it is what it is. I tell it how it is,
That's what power does. That's right.
It's what I do. I can't help it. I'm me, man.
And all the way from Canada, our esteemed guest, last minute, hit him up during the PM and the PM show with fun speculation. Hit him up in the chat, and he's like, shit, yeah, come on there. Noof Nukem, how you doing, brother?
Boom, boom, kaboom, baby. It's good to be in the room. Game Set Live. Let's get ready to go, man. It's going to be a good show. Plus, you've got a dynamite panel, as always, with Mr. Bushido Powerman and Fabio. And, of course, KY Pop. Doesn't get any better than this. So stick around. Hang on to your underwear, and let's get ready to go.
Noof, I didn't even hear you slide in the door, man. Like, wow, it was quiet.
It could be other things that I slide into, but we'll leave
that. This show is being ran by KY. Don't forget.
There you go.
Happens.
Exclusively partnered with Manscaped.
That's a good one.
That was good.
Oh, man.
Fabio, the Brazilian Mafia. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Okay, wait a second. Did you guys just start the podcast now?
Yep.
Oh, here I am.
You got in just in the nick of time, bro.
Like, here I am thinking that, okay, I will be like 20 minutes, 30 minutes late, and then out of the sudden I see the stream started 4 minutes ago, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Not even the time we can get it right. God damn it. Yeah. But yeah, glad to be here. Always great to see you all, people. I just want to say, for those who are cheering up to the Philadelphia Eagles, huge congrats to them for have 0 defeats at the moment. But like, god damn it, I can't believe I'm saying this. I want the Texans to win the game. I'm sorry, but yeah.
I live in Philadelphia and I hate the Eagles.
Thank you.
You're already making enemies, man. How you know? We probably got some Texans fans out there going, "Fuck Fabio, he doesn't like the Texans."
What? I'm rooting for the Texans.
Yeah, but that's only for this week, though.
I'm wearing a Texans cap right now at this moment. God damn it!
All right. You hear that?
49ers for life, baby.
Fuck,
There you
fuck off.
go.
My Browns beat the shite out of the Bengals. Just destroyed them on Monday night. Yeah.
I just wanna say one thing. Vikes 6-1. Okay, just wanna put out that.
Yeah, they're doing pretty good.
Thank you so much.
They're doing pretty good.
Yeah, keep forgetting the Vikings as a squad.
Protect the North.
Protect.
Get it rolling, everybody. Let's get it rolling. For those new in the chat, got Caper Grant here. That's right.
What's up, Caper? How you doing, man? Thanks for stopping by.
Palpatine,
Sup?
Denver, Nukem in the chat, but that doesn't count. He's in the show. He's double
It's
dipping.
everywhere.
Yeah. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. We do one show a week. We won't clog your timeline, I promise. Yet.
I was about to slide that in there.
All right. So, first topic. Is Game Pass profitable? Phil Spencer says it's profitable for them. He says but is it profitable from a business model? I'm going to throw it to you, Mr. Bush. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I remember talking about this on Riskit show, and the one thing I said was that even if you were making $1, it's still profitable. But the profit, of course, in this instance, you want it to be able to sustain itself, and the money be able to go back into the pot for Xbox and acquisitions or games or whatever the case may be. And in this instance, I think what did it say? 16% of their revenue came from Game Pass, which is pretty good to me. With it being something new like this, and I don't want to mention a play. Well, I'm not sure where you have the PlayStation thing in the slot. Are we bringing that up tonight? The one about their subscription service?
We can. It was
all
not.
Right, well, I'll bring it in.
List.
I'll bring it in this one then. So when you look at it being 16% for Xbox, but PlayStation, they dip is, I think, 2 million subscribers, something like that. But to have that big a base, one, and not be into your subservice, at least half of Xbox's base in the United States has Game Pass. And with that, you're not even losing subscribers in that type of manner as they are. To lose that many, they only had 5 at one point. And if you lost 2, you're almost losing half again. I think one of the reasons why is because there's nothing in there. You played all your PlayStation games and things like that. This shows you that Xbox at least does a good job in giving us different games, even if it's not AAA. There have been a bunch of gems this year that were AA or indie games. Tunic being one of the ones that popped in my head immediately. And you still got Somerville, which looks delightful to me. So they're doing a good job of keeping good content, and I think as long as you do that, and then once you start getting first party to drop in there, I think it won't do anything else but expand. So yeah, I think it's profitable.
Well, Mr. Nukem, you pick up Game Pass and you throw down Game Pass as much as anybody I've seen. What do you think? You are very critical about the subscription-based services. Really interested to find out your point of view on this.
Well, Microsoft, at least they're smart enough to know that it takes money to make money, right? And they've basically gone all in. They put all their eggs in this basket, and so far the basket's been it's been very profitable and very fruitful for them. It's only going to get better, I think, in due time. I think this year was a little bit of a setback overall. Like, Bushido mentioned, there was some great games in terms of the indies and Grounded finally getting its full, the full game. And there was a lot of stuff to like, and there was certainly plenty of content. And that's it on a year where obviously Microsoft and its first party didn't pick up the slack, so to speak. So, like I said, that part of it is doing really, really well. I mean, me, like I said, I'm a supporter of Game Pass, and I don't want people to get that construed. I'm a very old school gamer. I like physical. I like to buy and collect whenever possible. The thing for me is the value is unprecedented. I get that. No matter how I look at it, you cannot deny there's a ton of value. But here's my dilemma, and I might be in the vast minority here. I'm a working stiff. I barely find enough time to play any games or watch movies or anything else, let alone spend enough time to even play a fraction of these games on Game Pass. I'm one of those people that I don't like to jump into too many games. The backlog is I'm already drenched in the backlog long before I even got a subscription to Game Pass. And I said, and my intention on the last one wasn't even so much to get Game Pass. My gold subscription ran out or was running out or something, and I think I had something. I don't know what it was, but then it all converted. It converted over to being like basically a year. So I said, "Fuck it, I'll give it an honest chance." There's some really good games coming out that I like, and there's games that I probably wouldn't have got to try at all if I hadn't got into the Game Pass ecosystem. Like last year with games like I don't know what came out, like some of the big games that came into Game Pass in the last year. There's a couple that obviously I got to play, and I wouldn't have had the chance to play them otherwise because I may not have had the money to do so. So there's plenty of benefits, and when I always talk about it, and people kind of go, news to say no, but here's my dilemma, right? And this is part of the reason I sort of despise it to some degree, because of the Game Pass marketplace and ecosystem, the way Microsoft is messaging their whole systems. It's just like, I don't know, like, remember when at one point, and I guess it's going to sound console warish, but remember at one point when we actually really gave a shit about the consoles itself, and we actually cared about individual games without fucking always hearing that, well, I'll just wait for it to come to Game Pass, where it was always, if you wanted a game, you went out and spent your $80. There was never any question of a doubt. When I heard Gears of War 5 fans were like, I'll wait for Game Pass, I was like, dude, is that what it's become? That no longer, like, will you spend money on a game just because it's there? Like, that was a game you wouldn't have even questioned prior to Game Pass. Now, I get it. It doesn't make a lot of sense for a lot of people. But hell, I still went out and bought Halo Infinite. I bought the disc copy, well, whatever is on the disc, which is probably 70 megabytes. But I still went out and bought the physical copy because I'm preparing for a day when I may not have Game Pass, which is actually going to happen in 9 days if my count is correctly. And I will still need a physical copy of those games to log in and access my user rights to the game. So I will still go out and buy the games. I intend to buy Psychonauts 2 here anytime at all, and a few more. But, it's because, like, when I walk into a store, and because I'm an old school gamer and I'm limited on time and budget, I walk into a store and I can't find half the games I want to play because guess what? Retailers don't stock them anymore because of Game Pass. They refused to stock a lot of copies, and it was very apparent when I went to buy my copy of Halo Infinite, okay? Now, Halo 5, they had hundreds of copies in the store, okay? Hundreds. When I went to buy Halo Infinite, I think the guy said at the GameStop that I went to, they had less than 20. Now think about that. That's insane. I was like, okay, so this is what we've got. This is what we've come to, where Game Pass is the be all end all, and anybody who chooses not to basically concede to their method is basically screwed. And that's how I look at it. It's like, yeah, I get it that most people want Game Pass, but I really feel like you're also still slapping me in the face by kind of saying, oh, well, if you don't subscribe to Game Pass, well, F you, your money doesn't matter. No, it still does. I spend a shit ton on controllers and games, and I'm a big proponent and promoter of Xbox, but I feel like, I guess that's where the industry's going. But, I guess the reason I don't call out Sony as much is because they don't seem to push it as much. I look on the Xbox marketplace. What do I see constantly? Game Pass, Game Pass, Game Pass. Every single podcast I listen to, I don't think they can get through 10 minutes without the word Game Pass coming up. I'm like, I'm so fucking sick of Game Pass that it pisses me off. You know what I mean? It's like, it's for you, but it's not for me. So I keep feeling like I'm always getting like slapped in the face. And then of course the logic, well, Noof, it's just as cheap. If you're going to buy 3 games anyway at full price at $80, it's cheaper to get a Game Pass. I fucking get that. I'm not that dumb. I know I'm pretty dumb, but I'm not that dumb. But But I fucking get it. But if I'm only going to play fucking 3 games, does it matter if I spend 180 on the 3 games I want to play? I don't need to be locked into $17, I think it is a month on Game Pass here in Canada for me to play what? 1 or 2 games, and 90% of them I could give a rat shit about. Like it's really like that. Like I don't have the time, so it makes no sense. I'd rather spend money and own something and play the shit out of what I own than have. It's like Netflix. I can't fucking even stand Netflix anymore. Half that service now is nothing but their own shows. There's none of the shit that I subscribed for when I started, and the price has gone up exponentially. And guess what? I know that's coming with Game Pass. It's a matter of time, and I guarantee you, after the recent articles, it's coming sooner than later. So get ready. Get ready to start bleeding money. It's going to be $9.99. It's $11.99. And it's $14.99. And look, if Microsoft don't get the shit out of their fucking ass and start bringing a track record in here, okay? Like games got to fall next year. I'm telling you, and I'm not even kidding you guys. I'll prove it. I'll film a video if I have to. I said if Xbox doesn't drop at least one big game next year, which I'm pretty sure they will. There's like a 95% chance of that. I will seriously, if they don't drop one game next year, I'm going to film a video. I will take my Series X. I'm going to pitch it off a effing balcony. I will film the video for you. It will go over a balcony. Shit you friggin' not. So they better start getting their shit together. The games better start coming. I'm pretty sure they will. So don't get me wrong. That's why I made the bet, because I'm pretty sure it's a bet I'll win. I won't have to get rid of my Series X. But if they don't, if we end up with another 2022 and 2023 ends up being 2022, I am going to be the most pissed off Xbox mofo you've ever seen in your freaking life. I'm telling you.
So to bring everything, to bring everything back, you say no, it's not profitable, or yes?
Oh, bring it all back. Yes, it is very profitable. There we go.
All of that. No,
Well played, Bushido. Well played, sir.
Oh my
God. Well played. Yes.
Oh man, I kept saying to myself, I was like, man, who pissed this cornflakes this morning?
It's just a simple yes and no. And I have no idea of what is it.
He been holding on to that for a while. You can tell he been holding on that for a while.
KY Bob should have known he was in for that when he asked me that question.
Yeah. You know what? Some of the stuff I agree with you. What you saying, Fabio?
Oh man.
Seriously, I love you so much, Bush.
But some of that I agree with them though. Like I like the whole thing about buying the games, and I don't like hearing it, but I understand holding up for the subscription service. But I still want people to still buy games because that's just part of the beast. You know what I mean? I think that both sides should be fed. If you get it on Game Pass, fine. And if you're going to keep your service, and keep it all the way around for the whole year. If you're not, then buy the game. That way you go back and play it whenever you want to. But like you said, you made a great point. There are certain games, Gears and Halo. No matter what happened, you bought that game.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is
I personally don't think, and this is my biggest gripe, Microsoft still could have been very successful with Game Pass without putting day and date with their games. They could have waited at least 6 months and then put them on, and I would have been fine with that. Then they could essentially double dip like Sony does. I know that was a big selling point. That was a big part to really convince people to go with the Game Pass was the day and date. But I think they could have got away with 6 months and then said, yeah, after 6 months the game comes. They would have sold. They still would have sold several million copies of the game for
or at least a year.
Well,
yeah.
I think personally, I agree with you, and I do think that that probably somewhere behind closed doors, they're like, damn, I wish that maybe we would have held off a little bit. But I think in 2016 going into 2017, when Game Pass was in its inception, I feel like that was like their Hail Mary pass, right? Because 2013, 2014, and 2015 were kind of like uncertain areas of Xbox lifetime. You know what I mean? That was when they were talking about, Satya was asking the question, what is Xbox and why is it still a thing? You know what I mean? And still had to convince him, not to shut this thing down, So I think in retrospect, if they knew in 2022 that with with almost zero first party offerings, that they were going to be able to be somewhat competitive with the PlayStation 5. I think that they may have shifted that, but I think in 2017, I think that them dropping day and date was something that they felt they had to do. You know what I mean? And I do feel that like going forward, they are kind of backed into a corner, because I do think that there are games that are coming that I think that if they had a 6 to 10 month exclusivity on physical release, or just release in general for sales, a game like Starfield is going to sell regardless. I don't know how many Game Pass subscriptions it's going to organically create, because we just found out recently that basically it's kind of stifled. They know that they've kind of reached everybody that wants to get on Game Pass. And I'm not saying that Starfield isn't a good game or could be a good game, but I don't know if it's going to bring in the casual market, right? Like a game like Starfield is not going to bring in a person who just cares about Madden or playing 2K or something like that. You know what I mean? Like that game is not going to be like, oh man, I really got to play that game because I typically play Call of Duty all the time. And Call of Duty, on the other hand, will bring in casuals to Game Pass, and I think that could be the major shift, and which is why they're being so, there's so much conjecture between both of them. PS5 is trying to downplay themselves and and play the victim, and it's that whole thing that's going on. But as far as it being profitable, yeah, I think that's obvious. I think that it should be obvious. I mean, they've been talking about the official numbers. I mean, if we're conservative, right, 25 million subscribers. I mean, they're not investing $4 billion a year to put stuff into Game Pass. I can almost guarantee you that. So, how much profitability and what the percent, 16% of what exactly? Like, what's that
Right.
number? You know what I mean? Like that's questions that I have, but Xbox has never been really good about being very forthcoming with
Sharing
a lot
real
of
numbers,
stuff,
yeah.
unless it's like something really good, I think, or it makes the most
Right.
sense. We're not going to hear anything about that now, because with so much heat around this acquisition, like, I mean, we're not going to hear much, I don't think. But I do agree with Noof in some aspects. I do think that sometimes, how do I say this? Sometimes I feel like the console does get lost, right? Behind Game Pass. I see so many times that when you see a commercial for Xbox, it's Game Pass. It's not a game itself. More
Right.
than
Right.
likely, it's Game Pass, and the service is great. And I understand its worth, but I do think that the Xbox can and should have more to offer than just Game Pass, right? It should be more than just a box that facilitates Game Pass. And I'm not saying that that's not what it is, but I'm just saying
No,
that it deserves more,
exactly.
you know.
Well said. Well said.
Yeah, I agree.
But that's all.
You kind of see the point though, right? Like that's what I'm saying. You
Yeah.
kind of see the point where the console. I mean, I get it. It's it's the delivery. It's just one of many delivery methods. But one time the console was the focus. The console was like that was your center stage. What's the point of having all the power and bragging about all this stuff, or even producing a console if it basically means shit? It's just it's for the hardcore guys that have what anymore. We
Right.
have this box, like, but what does it matter? Like, if you're going to play it on your fucking TV and it's going to look as good, or it's going to play as good, or it's going to stream as good, or anything else, then what is the point? Like, Xbox is a brand. It's not even a product. I feel like that's what I still kind of like about Sony, even though Sony's been kind of forced to kind of follow suit, so to speak. And I think that's largely due to their new management, because they're
Yep.
seeing the money that Microsoft's making. But that's the point. Like, I still feel like to them, to a certain degree, like the PlayStation experience is still about their console first and foremost, or for the most part,
Yeah. But I do think that that's a temporary situation, Noof, and I only say that because of this. If you look at like what's happened just in this year, and people could
Yep.
say that it's because people are going outside or whatever. 2 million people did not drop their PS Plus subscriptions so they could go hiking. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They dropped they dropped those subscriptions because there are some people, and I've seen it on Twitter and I've seen people talking about it, that are seeing the writing on the wall, and they're noticing that Sony's games are coming to PC. They're coming to them cheaper, and they're coming at them with the ability to play better and faster on the PC platform, right? So people are starting to kind of wake up and be like, wow, I can, I can build a PC, especially now with this VR stuff. I could build a PC, a comparable PC, and I can, just kind of play the waiting game and get the games if they're a year, so be it, or whatever it is they try to put on exclusivity. And I think a lot of people were noticing that, and the times or the subscriptions are changing because of that. You know what I mean? Like I don't think that it's just simply because of that, because Game Pass, while it was a small growth, it did grow, right? There was growth over this quarter. So especially in a time where we're like, basically right on the edge of a recession, is somewhat impressive. You know what I mean? Like seeing that growth in a market where, there is a lot of, they're never going to reach the levels of like 2020 and 2021, right? Because everybody was stuck inside, so that level I don't think will ever be attained. But I agree. I think that Sony still does put their console first, but I think it's because that they feel that they have to, right? Like that's one of the Sony's few actual profitable. Without PlayStation, Sony is nothing, right? And without Xbox, Microsoft is still the most, the richest company in the world. You know what I mean? Like without it, they're just like, and that's also kind of scary because
it's a different, that's a different conversation though.
You still got Windows, you still got Office 365, you still got
like
all these products.
They're a different beast, and they know that, and that's why I think that like with media perception, like there's always going to be this thing where, no, regardless of what Xbox is going to do, it's always going to be perceived like they're punching down, right? Because Sony is just so much smaller in scope and in money than they are, that anything that they would do aggressive towards them is going to be perceived as negative, right? Because at the end of the day, nobody separates Microsoft from Xbox. They only do that in the console world. Everybody else on the planet sees Microsoft and they see Xbox simultaneously. You know what I mean? So I think that's why you get a lot of that, like, I don't know. Remember with the timed exclusivity, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, right? Where like if Xbox does it, it's a negative, it's a bad thing, and Sony does it, and it's almost encouraged, or everybody gets hype. Everybody's loving the fact that Final Fantasy 16 is exclusive to PlayStation, and yet here is Square Enix saying, "Oh well, Japan's not enough. Japan's not enough of a market. We're not making enough money." Well, if you put your games on Xbox, you might make more money. I'm not saying a whole lot more, but you definitely have the opportunity to make more money. You know what I mean? Like it just doesn't make sense to me. But
so, Fabio and Power Man, you got anything to add to that?
I think I'm sorry. I'm
sorry. I don't know why I'm doing this today, but
I do want to apologize.
I'm sorry.
Like, I mean, I just want to point out the fact that you guys talk so much and you don't shut the fuck up that I'm not able to talk anything else. You just said everything I was about to say.
Bob knows what he's doing. He's throwing a chicken leg in a dog pen and letting us tear it up. That's what
I hear you, Fabio. Fabio,
I've
they
never had
just
so
keep
many
going
opportunities
until
to
they
goof
say
off.
exactly what you were going to say, and then you've got nothing left to say.
I mean, am I actually a panelist here?
Well, Fabio, you should be grateful it's not sex, because if you're the last one to go, it's pretty sloppy by then.
Yeah.
Oh.
I do.
You and Wise are made for each other.
I do have to give an apology to the viewers and to my panel. And that awkward silence that you heard a little while ago, I was actually giving a pretty good segue to our next topic, but I was muted. I didn't realize it, and then when I finally realized I was muted, Noof had already started talking, so I just let him roll.
The only thing I just want to point out is Alan Wake 2 is quite different from what they told us, right?
What the hell?
There's Alan
Anyway,
Wake 2 gameplay.
we're going to move on to our next topic. I just want to remind everybody looking on, if you have played Resident Evil in first person, which is how it was released, what you see on screen now is the new Winners expansion. No, this is the new Winners expansion of Resident Evil 8.
Like Alan Wake. He has the same.
Played it. He does kind of look like out. Yeah, I know. But captured at 1440p, 60 frames for your viewing enjoyment, and we don't even get that through the app that we are podcasting on right now because the app player has limitations. So you're getting the full effect on YouTube. We are not seeing that kind of bit rate. So anyway, on to our next topic. So everybody's heard of the Embracer Group, right? You know, the company that Microsoft says they're going out and making acquisitions to protect gamers from the Embracer Group. Well, the Embracer Group has decided they are going to close Square Enix in Montreal. And with that
You mean
Square Enix
Eidos?
Montreal closing goes
Eidos.
Eidos. Yes, goes
Montreal.
Eidos Montreal. Thank you for correcting my pronunciation.
Isn't that the guys that made the Guardians of the Galaxy too?
Yep.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, yeah.
So
which was a great
funny,
game.
Though,
It was.
what's funny is that now that this news has come out that they're closing the studio, we find out that there is actually Eidos Montreal developers that
Eidos.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I guess it's the hillbilly country Kentuckian in me that just wants to pronounce that E.
Zucker was doing that too last night. The other night, Zucker was doing the same thing. And so we was
worse. Zucker was
it was way worse. It was way worse. They were ripping helmets out of the chat. It was too freaking funny.
I thought he was Ren and Stimpy. Idiots.
With the release of this news, we've come to find out that Eidos has actually got developers that have moved over and is helping Playground with Fable. So one of our main topics on the thumbnail was, will Eidos Montreal be the next acquisition? I'm gonna throw it to you, Noof. What do you think?
Maybe you should let someone else go first.
All right, Power Man 4K. What do you think? Will Eidos Montreal be brought on to?
I'll grab some popcorn.
I got my popcorn ready. Go ahead, Power Man. Talk for an hour.
Like be brought on for Xbox.
Make your own podcast, Power Man. Go on.
Like,
yeah. Will they be part of? Oh man, this is embarrassing. Brain fart time. Well, not the coalition. What is the quadruple A studio that they started? The Initiative.
The Initiative, yeah.
The Initiative. Will they be brought on to something as far as the Initiative, or will they be their own separate RPG, action RPG entity?
I mean, if they do, I hope that's not with the Initiative, because I feel like that name is like people look at that as kind of like a failure, right? I mean, it just kind of fell apart. So hopefully, if they do it, maybe create a new studio or just keep that name. But I mean, maybe I don't know. I mean, I think that right now it's so hard to tell, because right now they're doing these this acquisition theater, I guess you could call it, right? Where they're playing their part and everybody else is playing their part. And I know that deep down, like obviously, like long term, they're obviously not done, right, when it comes to this kind of stuff. But I don't know. It's, to me, it makes it's a little strange. Like I do find it a little weird that with all of the resources and things that they have available, that they're still going to third party studios for help, right? And I don't know if that's just like a me thing, but it does seem a little bit odd that you're going outside of your, I mean, at this point, plethora of studios, devs, tools. I mean, they bought the whole building at ZeniMax. So I don't know. I don't know what that means for the games. I don't know what that means for the future. It's good to see partnerships, but I mean, they still haven't pulled the trigger on Asobo, and I thought that they would have purchased them a long time ago, but I just thought that just made the most sense, or unfortunately, but I always thought that Moon Studios would have been a great pickup, but I don't think they wanted to be bought, from what I could tell, right? And there were some issues going on with them, but they make a beautiful game, regardless of all that stuff, maybe I don't know. I think that right now they got this laser focus on this Activision Blizzard thing, and it's another reason why I just really want Like, I really wish they would just drop it and let it go through, man, because it's so tiring. Like, I'm just like, why are we dragging this out? Like, let them acquire it. They've already said that Call of Duty is going to remain on PlayStation. Like, you're not going to stop it, so who cares? Just let it happen, and you're going to have to pivot, and you're going to have to change how you work. You know what I mean?
That almost sounds like assault. Like, don't fight it, let it happen.
I mean, yeah, but no, it's kind of like I don't know, like just trying to hold back, like you're playing like a football game or something.
It's inevitable, basically.
It's
You're saying
inevitable.
this, yeah.
Yeah,
Regardless how hard you fight it, it's inevitable.
They're on the 3-yard line. Like they about to score, man. You know what I'm saying? Like they about to score, so you might as well, instead of putting all this energy on trying to stop something that ain't going to happen, Sony should just been focusing on, going into their internal studios and trying to find something organic that can that they can use to make money in the long term. You know what I'm saying? Because hey, it is what it is, man. People want to try to like clown on Xbox for like having the money to do this kind of stuff, but like, why, if you had a superpower, would you not use it? And like, money is their superpower. They're a Batman. You know what I mean? Like, they have a lot of money to blow, and if they could do it, listen, if Sony could buy Activision Blizzard, they would, and that's a fact. If Sony could have Call of Duty first party and they could do it monetarily, they would have done it. You know what I'm saying? It's just that Xbox has the cheddar, bro. You know what I mean? They got the bank for it. So, but yeah, I mean, dude, listen, I don't think that Phil's done. Phil's going to keep buying studios, I think, because at the end of the day, right now, the priority is Game Pass, and without consistent content, that subscription service dies, right? And the only way to really make it profitable is to have it in-house, right? Like, it's why you're seeing so many, like Noof Nukem said, it's why you're seeing so many Netflix-owned shows, right? You see that little N on the side of the show? That's because they made it in their in-house. They didn't have to pay somebody else to get the rights to X movie or Y movie. It's why Disney Plus exists, right? Disney is, they own Marvel, they own Star Wars, all that stuff coming in from in-house is made in-house, and that is always going to be cheaper than having to go out and pay somebody to have your movies on their services. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think that after this, that would make the most sense. But if it was me personally, and I know we've already talked about this, I would be eyeballing other studios personally. If I had my way, CD Projekt Red, right? Because I just want, I do want Xbox to focus a little bit more on the games that get people excited in the gaming community, and I appreciate that they're allowing people to be organic and be creative and create new things, like you see Pentiment and games like that. But games like that are never gonna draw the excitement that something like God of War Ragnarok or Wolverine is going to attract, right? Like, you're never gonna get that level of hype. And I think that it could be so easy for Xbox to go out there and secure a deal and make a Green Lantern game, or make a Black Adam game, or make a Punisher game, or something that has some kind of pop culture, like something triggers in your mind and it, right? And it garners big sales. And I think Xbox could really use that. If anything, even if you're just going to put it in Game Pass, like, sell
Bottom
it.
line, indie games don't sell Game Pass. Game Pass sells indie games.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a fact.
Yeah, that's a really good point, dude. I mean, you couldn't have said it better. And it really does. Like, the Game Pass is helping the indie devs, but I don't know if the indie devs are necessarily like helping Xbox as a whole, right? Like, it's helping them sell, and it's creating money for them and visibility for them. But I think that at some point Xbox needs to start being a little bit more selfish and being like, okay, well, somebody needs to do something for us every now and then,
I mean,
when you see people online say, I would buy Game Pass for that one game alone, that's when they're going to have it.
Yeah,
and Starfield just might be that game. Like, it could very well be. But it's a new IP. It's a big gamble, right? This is not like the next iteration. Like Skyrim, yes. Not the next Skyrim, but the next Elder Scrolls will most likely be that game because it has that name prestige. But this is what I'm saying. That they need a couple of those games to go, I would subscribe just for that.
Yeah, I agree. And like I said, I think that like there's something to be said. Okay, so we know for a fact, right, that what is Sony's best selling first party game? Spider-Man, right? Like Sony did not create Spider-Man, right? Even Insomniac did not create. They created that version of Spider-Man. They did not create Spider-Man. Spider-Man sold because it's Spider-Man, right? Rocksteady made Batman. Batman was that Arkham series was great. It's Batman, right? Xbox could go out there and could get a notable name. And I know that they have stuff like Indiana Jones. Even that I don't think has enough star power. Maybe it did, maybe it would have 20 years ago, but I don't know if it's going to hit in 2023 or 2024, right? With the same impact that I think that, them going out and making an Incredible Hulk game or a Punisher game or a Daredevil game, something that people know about, you know what I mean? A Superman game, right? Um, I just think that they're so overdue for a big budget over the top. And they were doing it, right? Like everybody wants to clown on the Xbox One, but stuff like Quantum Break and Rise Son of Rome, I mean, they were doing really good things with that beginning of the generation. You know what I mean? There were some good games. I would argue, like to my death, the Xbox One had a better launch with better games than the PlayStation 4. And that's a fact. The PlayStation 4 launched with nothing. I mean, Knack, and Killzone, Killzone, which was a dud, and a couple other games that nobody even really. The Order 1886, which was a flop, right? There's a couple of them here and there, but the Xbox One had some really good exclusives, dude. I mean, they had Titanfall. I remember playing. I probably played 250 hours of Titanfall. So
1886 is actually a really good game.
it was good. It was just short, and I don't think, and it never really hit media appeal, right? Like people knew about it, but I didn't hear anybody ever talked about it. You know what I mean? And Killzone was what what was supposed to kill Halo, and we see how that worked out. You know what I mean? But I
Little
guess
did little do they know that Halo killed
Hey,
itself.
would kill
Just kidding.
itself.
Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Just be patient.
Oh man, I can't even get started on Halo. But
No,
we're gonna
no,
get we're
no.
we're gonna get on to Halo. Halo's
No,
coming.
we actually got some
We're
really
waiting
good
on you,
things for
Fabio.
Halo. Actually,
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were waiting on you.
We're going to switch gears a little bit though, because here recently, the Game Set Live Discord has gone public, and so we're doing things a little differently in our Discord. We've got a text channel called News where people have members that have joined the Discord server have offered up some news that may have slipped through our fingers, because we do try and cover the largest things. Thember has been very productive. Shout out to you, Thember, in the chat. You've been very productive in the news text channel. Thember has brought up that Electronic Arts Incorporated is going to develop 3 games inspired by Marvel comic book characters, starting with Iron Man. And all I got to say about that is it better have the flight mechanics of Anthem, because that's what made Anthem bearable, is that the flying was done so well.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. And also, I'm just going to put this out there just because, they can take it or leave it. But I think Anthem got a little bit too much hate. I actually didn't mind that game. You know what I mean? Like, I think that there was a good game there somewhere, but they just didn't have, and Bushido kind of opened my eyes. It was just content, man. And the fact that they only gave them that short amount of time to make a game, honestly, it blows my mind they were able to get that out. You know what I mean?
Get that out,
yeah. It just
if
really
Anthem
sucks.
actually had a story that people could stand, it would have been fantastic. It had great gameplay. It looked good. It played good. It had everything it needed, except it was confusing as shit. It's like
Noof, I understood the story. Destiny? I understood the story just fine. The fact, the problem was the story. They never finished that story.
Move on. Yeah, it didn't move on.
It just dropped you, and you're like, oh, okay, well, I'll wait for content.
It was just conjoined. It was just going back and forth. It just felt like they were trying to copy Destiny.
Well, I was just thinking about that, but the original vanilla Destiny story was exactly like Anthem's. Like it dumped you into the story. By the end of it, you were in this black garden. You had no idea what you were fighting and why. You know what I mean?
Go to
All
the
I knew,
moon, kill a boss. Go to
yeah,
this planet, do it again.
all, all I knew was I was shooting stuff and it felt like Halo and it was cool. You know what I mean? Like other than that, it was completely superficial why I was playing the game. You know what I mean? I was like, I was dying for a Halo like experience and they were giving it to me because it was Bungie. You know what I mean? But the story back then made no sense. They've done better now. They're actually telling stories and stuff like that. But the story made no sense. And neither did Anthems.
Fabio, are you having Brazilian internet issues tonight?
No, no, no Brazilian internet issues. It's battery issues. There we go. It's
Ah,
recharging right now.
Somebody's
All
got an
good.
entertaining show or a game running in the background, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I wonder
do.
who that could be.
There is something going on there.
That must be Power Man.
No,
Who's
that's not me.
watching porn?
I got nothing.
What? What? Uh,
all right. So,
Welcome to the Tug and Rub podcast. Yeah.
Okay, Rob.
oh gosh. All right, Fabio, just for you. Waited for you because I know you got so much to say about it because you are our resident Halo defender. That's right.
what? Okay, okay. There we go. Here
So
I am.
the winter update for Halo
Mhm.
Infinite arrives November 8th. And the
Yes.
Battle Pass progression system will be overhauled with Match XP. Players will be rewarded for playing whatever mode they want, including performance. The majority of XP will come from Match XP.
Finally.
Are you happy?
Yes, I am because
Oh,
it's something that we've been waiting for since the release of the game. We've been waiting for this feature. Not just that, but like there's something that is now going to be happening with Halo Infinite with the November 8th update. That is, Halo is going to give way more focus on making you be able to play more with your friends, something that Halo Infinite was struggling with for some damn reason, releasing modes where you are not able to play with friends at all. Like, I mean, makes no sense. It's fucking Halo, so god damn it. And not just that, but like I think that with Forge coming out, with the new game modes coming out as well, and with this XP match XP overall that they are going to be releasing, I think this is a good step into the right direction. I really think that. I'm not saying that all the problems are going to be solved. I'm not saying that now with this release, Halo is going to be back with the full all of its 20 million population when it got released. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that this is a good step. It really pleases the fans that these winter updates that at the beginning when they showed us the roadmap, people were saying this is shit, and with time, as more and more that we were learning about the winter updates, people were accepting more and loving it and being excited for it. So I actually think that things are going to the right way, the right path for Halo. But I'm not saying it is its salvation, not at all. But I like what I see.
and something else. Apparently, the PC is going to get ray traced shadows.
Here's the thing: we have no idea if it is only the PC version. That's the thing. everyone is everyone is thinking about is asking about this question, but AMD just had an event, and one of the things that they showed in this event was Halo Infinite's ray tracing, where the focus was not reflections, it was all about shadows. So yeah, when you watch the demo that they showed up, it was shit because like you can barely notice the difference if you don't pay attention to the shadows actually.
It was shit.
No, actually, like if you don't pay attention to the shadows, you are going to think to yourself, "What the fuck is the difference?" Yes,
Oh
but
wow.
and the interesting part of this is that the ray tracing, it seems, according to the AMD events, it seems that it's going to be released in March of the next year. So
Hmm.
probably that means that ray tracing will be coming with the beginning of season 3.
With the
Wow.
RX 7000 line of GPUs that we've yet to see.
Yes.
Well, yeah, well they
You
they
know,
revealed them today. They revealed them that level, but um
so we know what the 4090s look like as far as teraflop performance and ray tracing using the CUDA cores and the dedicated cores for ray tracing. What I'm People keep mentioning mid-gen refreshes for these two consoles. Personally, I think they need to use what they've got before they do this, but we know how it goes. So, if you're talking about a mid-gen refresh, both companies, Sony and Microsoft, they're both in bed with AMD. So, I'm guessing a mid-gen refresh would be another APU from AMD. And I asked, shout out to D Batch on RDX. I asked him if this is the case, then where is AMD in respect to Nvidia? Because
Mm.
that's what we're going to get. And unfortunately, they're still very far behind when it comes to the ray tracing aspect. Not much ray tracing. They're pretty good. They're pretty, it's apples to apples. But you start getting into apples and broccoli when you bring ray tracing into the equation. I
yeah.
did not see the 7000 series release.
Yeah,
I will
so
have.
I watched it today. So like they did address a lot of that. So for instance, their flagship their a flagship card is only pulling, I think it's pulling under 400 watts of power, and is doing 8K 60 frames with ray tracing on Cyberpunk, I think it was.
Mm.
They showed a few games um, in that showcase. Halo being one of them, but I don't think that it was a good showcase because it. I don't know why. I don't know why they chose that, but it did not look good, um, for whatever reason. But I do think that uh, I do think that AMD is catching up really fast, and with FSR 2.2 that's coming out, and actually we'll be able to get to see that in action because Forza Horizon 5 is going to be one of the first games to implement FSR 2.2 on PC. And they're saying that it might be their best version yet. And it looks like it's going to be really good for performance. But yeah, I do think that I personally think that mid-gen refreshes are coming, and I do think that they might be necessary. I mean, if you just look at the RTX 4090, right? You take AMD out of the mix, that card is so much more powerful than these consoles that it is honestly it's not even close, right? So I think that if we want to push the games further, because listen, the way it's coming to me with these consoles is there's something like going on, right? And it started with Minecraft, right? We heard we're gonna get ray tracing on Minecraft, and then they scrapped it, and then now they're talking about Halo ray tracing, um, and Forza Horizon 5 ray tracing on PC with no mention of the Series X, right? And I think that there might be a reason for that. So maybe there's something in a GDK or in the tools that are preventing it from these developers utilizing these things. But as far as because they're working on PC, so like what's the problem? It's an RDNA 2 APU. Why isn't this just like a plug and play thing? I don't understand it, but maybe there's something going on that we don't know about.
Shout out to Boba Fett Gaming in the chat. I completely agree with him about show me a gamer that cares about ray traced shadows.
Yeah, I don't really
I,
care
re-
for ray tracing either.
I
Ray
replied to
trace
him.
sound.
Screen space reflections have gotten so good. If you have played the new Modern Warfare 2 remake, the Amsterdam level, that's all screen space reflection and it's beautiful. I don't care whether or not something's showing true to life shadows if I'm not looking at it.
Exactly.
Not just that, like, but like, who cares about ray trace shadows in a first-person shooter?
Yeah,
Yeah. Any
If it
reflections,
was third
screen space
person,
reflections are as far as what you're looking at, SFR is just fine.
Yeah.
It's just fine.
I will say
I don't.
I played Modern Warfare 2 on PC with ray tracing on, and it does look crazy. But I agree. I think that like in moment to moment, like something like Halo, like I don't know if Halo is going to benefit from ray tracing. Like I don't know if that's you know what I mean. Like the game really wasn't like a crazy graphical showpiece before, right? The world just doesn't like translate to that very well. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how else to explain it, but like I think some like Cyberpunk, right? Cyberpunk looks great with ray tracing
Mhm.
because I feel like it was kind of like, designed with that in mind. But I agree. It's definitely like in the tier of things that I would care about, it would go frame rate,
Yeah.
then fidelity, then resolution, and then maybe ray tracing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
I like
So
high resolution textures. You know, I like the game to look pretty good, whether
yeah,
you're far up or you're close up. You know what I mean? Nobody likes to get up close and go, "Oh, it's an N64 syndrome." You know, it's like it looks kind of good from a while away, but then you get up close and then you feel like you're at a bar after you got drunk, and you're like, "Oh, that girl looked really good from 20 feet back. Not so good now." Um, you know, as far as these whole console things, if you don't mind me just adding, like I'm not for it. Like I'm not for any more mid-gen refreshes. I think there was a purpose behind them, perhaps in the last gen, because right out of the box, I think they figured out that the two consoles that we had were a little long in the tooth even before
uh-huh.
they were halfway through the life
Yeah.
cycle.
The
But I don't feel
CPUs
that's the
were
case here.
obsolete before they even released.
Pretty much. I don't feel that's the case here. I feel that the potential, like we're not even close to the potential of PS5 or certainly the Series X, and that's largely due to development constraints, and again, trying to still fit games back on hardware that's again running on JAG cores, and there's only so much you can do, and I'm not for mid-rend refreshes. Like I if like so what's gonna be the selling point? Are you because the only way I'd even consider it is if there's 100% guarantee that every fucking game is 4K 60 at least. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Outside of that, why even talk to me? If it's horseshit. Like the fact that the Xbox One X can essentially run most of these games almost as efficient as their current consoles is a testament to that little machine. But that was never utilized either. That came out at the end, and it was just like we never even got to see a fraction of what that machine could really pump out if you think about it. Yeah, I love the hard drives in the new one. I'm all for a slimmer, more efficient slim model if they came up, because honestly I'm not a big fan of these fat ass consoles we got here now. We got the friggin' Tower of Power and Xbox, like the boring box, and then you got the fucking spaceship PlayStation 5, which takes up a whole friggin' entertainment cabinet. I can't sit it anywhere. It's like, oh, I got to redesign my whole house to get this thing anywhere. I said, what the hell? I would definitely appreciate a new revamp in that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think slim models are definitely on the horizon for sure, but I think the mid gens are coming too, man. Because the stuff's been kind of circulating, but I don't think that most of the stuff doesn't just pop up out of thin air. But like TCL, the TV company, did a presentation, and they had mentioned like the next, like they part of their presentation was talking about like the next refresh, like specifically saying like the next gen refresh or mid gen refresh of the PS5 and the Series X. So I think that and I've said it before, like the Series X Elite, I think is on the way, and I think it's going to be maybe sooner than later because with how fast the GPU technology is going forward, I don't see a world where they have to. You know what I mean? Like they're going to have to because the 4090 and moving forward into 2023 and 2024, these GPUs are just, they're kind of leaving these consoles in the dust, man.
Yeah. So, just to get into the next, it's not really a topic, more of a hey, what do you all think about this? Fabio turned me onto this in the podcast topics in the Discord.
Did I?
Yes, you did. Bethesda Softworks, their new
Ah,
international publishing headquarters in London, has
Hmm.
Ghostwire Tokyo wall art already listing Xbox Series X and S as platforms. Oh yeah, that's right. It's coming. When?
hmm.
I mean,
Yeah,
wasn't it
yeah.
right behind Deathloop as far as release goes? And we're
I
like,
think it was
hey,
like
it
February.
was.
I think it was
was.
February, like just before the spring.
I don't know how. What are the chances that we have that Ghostwire Tokyo is going to be released this year yet?
No, I don't think it'll be this year.
No
No.
chance.
Yeah.
Mm,
No
okay.
chance.
just
Well, I
add
was wrong
another
about
thing to
Deathloop. So.
2023. God.
Yeah. Hey, but at least it'll be in Game Pass. So
Yeah, and as I say, that's probably its saving grace because it didn't. I mean, it wasn't like it didn't break any records over on PlayStation. I mean, everybody said it was it was an okay game, but
yeah.
it wasn't setting the world on fire.
At least I didn't hear it was bad. I'll say that
Right.
much.
Yeah.
The only thing I heard was mid to good. So that's good enough for me.
Hmm.
And next on the topic list. What? Yes, we got more.
You wanna end it? You wanna
Call
end
of
the
Duty
podcast here?
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is the biggest launch in the history of the franchise. They have sold $800 million in only 3 days. It beats the previous record set by Modern Warfare 3 in 2011, the highest digital sales ever for the series at launch.
Bob KY Bob, haven't you heard this series is friggin' dead? What's going on?
How about that? That's
Well,
the
I will
same thing
tell
I'm
you
hearing.
this.
Call of
I
Duty
will
hasn't
tell
been
you
good in
this
years.
right now. I have played the multiplayer. And to be honest with you, I don't see a difference in its multiplayer to any of the other
Mhm.
multiplayers,
Okay.
besides maybe some maps. What this is really remakes really hearken to the players that enjoyed the campaigns. And they like
Yes.
that story experience and they want to be wowed by that updated story experience on their new hardware. And I can say that Modern Warfare 2, while it does let you play from different perspectives than you previously did, it does give you that wow factor during the campaign. And that's why we got it. That's why we all bought it, is because we wanted to play that campaign. Because I mean, let's admit Modern Warfare, the campaigns, it's like a movie showcase that you're in the middle of. It's just
Mhm.
amazing. And I love it.
Yeah, it's a 12-hour episode of Narcos, basically.
I mean, like, I love the fact I like when you compare with the Modern Warfare 2019, people love the campaign, but they were saying that the multiplayer was way too sweaty, like way too hardcore. With like, it's not, it wasn't necessarily the right game for casuals to play. You need to actually be really addicted to Call of Duty to actually enjoy yourself here
Yes.
because of the matchmaking system. Is there any difference from 2019 to this one?
I
I couldn't
felt
tell you
like
because I
I
didn't
got my
play.
ass kicked a lot more in this one.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
There's a ton of changes.
I
Okay,
will
but
agree.
like,
That's why.
would you guys think it's way easier to enjoy yourself, or like, is it like you need to all the time be sweaty, all the time thinking, "Holy fucking shit, I need to be a pro in this fucking game."
No.
I think that no, I don't think so at all. I think this game caters to And they even said it like whenever the beta came out, there were a lot of pro COD players that were complaining about lack of movement, and they've been. See, here's the funny thing.
Fuck
This
the
is
pros.
I'm about to get on. I'm about to get into it with COD players, right? You COD players out there constantly want to talk about. I want boots on the ground, bro. I don't want to be space suiting it and this and that. And yet, every time a game comes out, they're looking for any and every way to exploit the movement mechanics in order to
Yes.
make themselves hop, skip, bunny hopping,
Yep.
slide canceling, doing a million
Exactly.
things that have nothing to do with boots on the ground and walking and acting like a soldier, right?
That's fact.
But
Yes.
they want to shit on every other Call of Duty
I
game
know. I
because
think
they
I've
have
already played the
jetpacks.
Clan Jetpack Jackrabbits. I think I've already played those
Yes.
guys.
Exactly.
Yes.
So everybody was
Listen,
bunny
Call of
hopping
Duty
around
Infinite.
corners.
I don't know
Yeah,
about the multiplayer, but the campaign was spectacular.
fire,
But like you
fire,
said,
bro.
people complain saying that's not Call of Duty. This and this and this and. But like you said, I'm playing with Pete and a bunch of the guys with Modern Warfare, which is really good. But dude, you got people doing this jump leap thing. You got people doing this is a new thing we just found today. It's a riot shield on your back. So what a dude to do is he'll put a riot shield on his back so he can't get shot in the back. But they're doing a new thing now where they turn around with the riot shield and you can't hit them. And they'll walk right up on you and they'll just club you to death.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Well, yeah, that's been going on for a while, but like I guess I just mean like, as far as like the movement in general with this
Mm-hmm.
one compared to 2019 because like I okay, I went back the other day and started playing some multiplayer in 2019, completely different, dude. Like just the way the game
Gotcha.
plays. Um
But I mean,
and they're doing that
like,
because let's face it, Call of Duty's laurels rest on the casual gamer. It's that guy that got off work and he's sitting on his
Yeah.
couch. He doesn't even have a headset on. He just wants to relax. He wants
Right.
he wants to kill a few people and sit on his ass for a couple of hours after a long day of work.
mm,
You know what I mean? It's not Johnny
Yeah.
McSweatpants that lives, eats, sleeps, and breathes it with an aimbot hack on PC, which we cannot
Yeah.
cut off crossplay on, which I think is bullshit.
You
And
can, but you
PlayStation
have to go into
can.
your Xbox.
Yeah, but the fact that you have to go in through all that and
Yeah.
jump through a bunch of hoops just because they don't want to cut out the PC crowd. Like, listen, I play on PC. I've got no problem admitting that, but I also understand whenever I play on a PC that I'm playing with a whole new breed of people, dude. You know what
You
I'm
ain't
saying?
kidding.
And they can
Yeah.
try to make an argument for, oh, people cheat on consoles too. Yeah, okay, a couple here and there versus literally what is it like they banned whenever they finally got a ban in Warzone 2, they were banning like 50,000 people a day that were cheating. And they're still getting away with it. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
stop acting like it isn't like a noted problem. And and at the end of the day, even if they
Yeah.
aren't cheating, they're on an ultra wide screen TV with the maxed out FOV. You know what I mean? Like it's not going to be the same. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, they're doing better than they have in the past. I think it's a little bit slower, a little bit more methodical, a little bit more time to think about your moves. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Because, like I said, you're not running around like you're on crack. Like you shouldn't be wanting to do that if you want a true boots on the ground Call of Duty experience.
Yeah. That's definitely paced better. It's I'm quite enjoying it.
like, but the reason why I wanted to mention about the 2019 game is because people were actually, when that game came out, people were actually thinking this is the best iteration of God that we had in a long time. Why? Because that was a game that actually made the people that originally bought the game for the campaign felt welcome again. But the only problem was they would like to enjoy also the multiplayer, but they couldn't because it was way too hardcore. If this game right now, Modern Warfare 2022, is better in terms of how difficult it is to play the multiplayer, like that's like okay, God is actually back. They improved
Well,
the
it
campaign,
had the
they
highest
focus
sales
on that,
of any Call of Duty
and
game ever. So
they improved the multiplayer because of that. So like it makes total sense for why this game is the biggest release yet. And like considering that we are talking about the last game released in a yearly basis. Or am I wrong? Like, isn't this supposed to be the last game of that? And
Well,
now
that's
we are
what the
going to have
rumor
to
is.
wait for more.
That's what the rumor is.
Now we are
Yeah,
going to have to wait for more years until
Dude,
we have a new Call of Duty, right?
dude, I want a remake of the very first Black Ops. You remember how you're playing through that? You're going through the invasion where you're trying to get oh, what's his name in Cuba?
Oh
You're trying
yeah,
to get
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah. I
you're
forgot
trying to
his
get
name. Yeah.
him, and then you wind up. Spoiler alert, everybody. Then you wind up in a meeting with JF Kennedy, and you uncontrollably start pulling this gun from your side and find out you're a program mole. Dude, that is like one of the largest like
Yep.
shock moment turning points of a game that I've ever
You guys
seen.
remember the marketing on that where it had the numbers coming out, the numbers that were constantly coming out of that TV, whenever
Yeah.
you loaded the screen. You know, you're sitting
Uh-huh.
there and the numbers are flying at you from the TV. That was so cool. Just had to throw
Oh,
it out there.
I want to give a shout out to everybody that is in our chat tonight. You all are awesome. We've had Caper Grant, we've had Thember stop by. Let's see. Cozy Beluga. I hope I said that correctly. Risk It for the Biscuit is in here. Boba Fett Gaming.
Is he really?
Mm-hmm.
Brisket
Yeah.
said he
just
never
wanna say,
listened to. Brisket said he never listened to your show again. So that's nice. He must have changed his mind.
Well, I listen to his show every Friday, so he can suck it. That's dirty pull there, sir. Support and be supported. I believe that's the way it
I
goes.
mean,
Uh,
Yeah,
except
that's not how Brisket looks
Gray
at it.
Monad. Gray
except
Monad.
Gray,
like
what's going on, buddy?
I just want to say, except two of you in the chat, we love you all. No, just kidding.
Except two of you.
Wow. Okay, that's coming from Brazil, not KY. Okay, not Kentucky.
From Brazil,
Tone
like
it down.
Yeah, Don
Just
Fabio.
Brazil.
Coming
I
from
am,
Don Fabio.
I'm officially an entire country, and this is why we are losing the World Cup. Great.
Oh gosh, you're killing me, dog. All right, so again, like, share, subscribe, tell a buddy or two if you like us. Next topic, Atomic Heart. We've all seen the trailer, and yes, it does. To be honest with you, look like one of the most next gen looking games that I think I've seen so far. And it has gotten an official release date of February the 21st of 2023. God, as if fucking February is it 2023 wasn't bad enough. You throw it into
Wait,
February. I'm gonna be playing Dead Island 2.
wait.
What the hell?
February, you say?
Yes,
Yeah.
February 21st.
Ah, what a nice birthday gift. Awesome.
Hey,
kinda
shout
feel
out
bad.
to Timmy. It's Timmy who's just showed up in the chat. What's up, brother?
What's up, Timmy?
Too bad. Too bad.
Hey,
But Bushido and I are just two fucking idiots.
I tell you what, man. Anybody out there, you need to change your YouTube username to It's Jimmy V2.
Who's
And
Jimmy?
then yes. You don't remember the battle between Timmy and Jimmy, the two cripples on South Park?
Oh yeah, it's been so long, man.
It's
Yeah,
Timmy and
I
it's
forgot.
Jimmy. Just jump in every
forgot.
chat that Timmy's in, man. That'll be classic.
I want to change my name. It's Cocky.
It's cocky. But yeah, I gotta tell you, I'm excited for Atomic Heart and to actually get a release date that is gonna put it right in the middle of many other games that I'm already gonna be choosing what's backlog and what's not. God, man, guys, 2023 is gonna be crazy. I'm still gonna be working on 2023 and 2025. I'm telling you, because
Yeah, I feel
we're gonna
bad. I
have
feel like a
stuff.
lot of those games are gonna get lost in the translation, man. Like a lot. There's no way
Some of those
anybody's
games
playing
I'm,
all
I'm,
that.
I'm gonna play them regardless. You know how when you get a game, it goes in the backlog. Like, all right, I'm not that convinced it's gonna be that good, so I'll just leave it in the backlog. Or use like this one could wait. There are two games that are not gonna wait for me. I'm not gonna do that. Regardless of whatever I'm playing, I'm gonna be like, no, I'm playing this now. The Dead Space remake is one of them. That's absolutely has to get played immediately. The second one is the Atomic Heart. Those are the two that no matter what I'm already playing, this is where I end that game for now and start the other game up.
Yeah, that Dead Space is going to be played on site, bro.
Yeah. I'm debating on whatever with Krillus or Protocol. If I finish a couple of games or whatever game at the time, if I can finish it before Callisto Protocol, then that would be next. Then
If you
Yeah,
haven't,
Callisto comes out in December.
yeah, because on
So it
December.
should
Yep.
be good. Yeah.
December 2nd. If those of you in the panel, if you haven't checked out the fidelity on the YouTube channel right now, inside the castle here is some of the best parts to see in third person. It is pretty damn cool. It's still pretty still pretty shocking though if you've played the game. See, I hadn't actually played the final release. I had played the demo, which lets you play most of the outdoors of the village in the demo. So I got a pretty hefty taste of first person in the demo. And now the third person, man, it's a little jarring. You can see at some points where the game is tailored for a first person view, and you do have some combat situations are difficult. But I mean, who's to say that we would have been any better at any of the other Resident Evils in first person that were originally third person? So
Right.
Yeah, I
But
usually like first person, but in Resident Evil, for some reason, I prefer third. I don't know why.
Yeah, because you love how much you love Resident Evil 4.
Because it makes you feel in what's the word for it? Engrossed more than no, not engrossed. Not in depth. Immersed. Immersed. Yes.
Yeah.
I have to admit, when I played 7, that's how it was. 7 is a really good game. I'd actually play it again if I had third person.
I mean, like, once again, when it comes to Resident Evil 8, and especially now with this third person update, it's more and more Capcom testing the waters to see how much people are going to be loving a Resident Evil 4 remake. I know they've already announced that.
Oh, that's another one, yeah.
But still, this is just
coming in March 2023.
But like once again, this is just more proof at all that Resident Evil 8 was just the initial idea of making a Resident Evil 4 remake, because the only two things that are missing right now when it comes to Resident Evil 8 is for Ethan to do backflips and karate kicks, because that's exactly what you do in Resident Evil 4.
I liked Resident Evil 4 though. I like that.
I
more
loved
action-y.
it. Oh yeah,
I like
loved
that
it.
more actiony Resident Evil personally. That's just me though. But
I'm not a fan of scary games, so Resident Evil
I
4
love them.
is quite fun.
I'm a coward. I'm a coward, but I actually love them.
I love the way he said that. He was just like, he just spit it. He's like, I'm not a fan of scary games.
Yeah, I don't like being chased by shit, man. So like that for me, I'm always like,
I hate being scared. So like Resident Evil 4, when it
Resident Evil
went
5
for a more
Village was
action
great.
style, I loved it.
Village was great, but though that one scene when you go down in the basement, you guys know which one I'm talking about?
Yes.
Oh my god. That was the part that I was like, man, like I'm pretty sure my ass was sweating after that one. That was
I just wanna say, if you right now at this moment has no intention of becoming a father, you can be sure that after this session you will never want to become a father.
Oh man. So speaking of fathers and games that kind of revolve around that narrative, God of War Ragnarok. Metacritic scores are out, and we're looking at mid 90s. 94.
Woo!
Nice.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. And the only reason why I could say not surprised, listen, I'm not one of the conspiracy guys to say that this one pays for that, and but I will say this: regardless of what was going to happen, the game was going to obviously get over a 92, and it was primarily because of the fact that the ponies want to make sure that this will be the first game to get a 90 from this generation. And that whole argument that those 4 games that came out the year before last on Xbox were rated higher than all the other games for PlayStation, oh, that had to die. So with the industry being mostly PlayStation fans, the quote unquote journalism in gaming, I just felt like whatever it was, I gotta give it the extra oomph. Look at the remake, the fake remake. What's the name of that game? The Last of Us. The
What's
one
the name of
guy's
that game?
yeah. So the
Never,
dude
never
says
heard of it. Never heard of
the
it.
dude the
Oh,
dude literally
that's so
said
cool.
if this was back then, it would have got such and such a score. But since it's remade and it's new and it's for the newer generation or whatever, he wanted to rank it as if it was the first time he ever played it or something like that. But he gave it like a 90, and I was like, wait, what? So I just think that when it comes to PlayStation, they're gonna do everything they can to make sure that something's gonna get a better score. Look, anytime you have Geoff Keighley, decide to.
Made him sound like a terrorist.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Geoff. I said his
Geoff
name wrong.
Keighley.
Geoff.
Geoff
But
Gaming
Esteban.
terrorist.
but he made sure that the show was pushed back a couple of weeks to make sure God of War fit in that time frame.
Now, didn't we have this same controversy last year when Forza Horizon 5 got
Yep.
snuffed?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Because it didn't make the... Oh, that just pisses me off.
Yep.
Ugh.
But either way, though, the narrative was out that a racing game couldn't win it anyway, even though we've had multiplayer games win it before. One of them being what's that game? I don't even know how to play. I don't even understand how the game works. Overwatch. I don't even understand how the game is played.
2016.
Exactly.
Overwatch 2016. Game of the year.
Overwatch won an award. The Walking Dead. I mean, a point and click fucking story simulator basically won a game of the year, didn't it? Like, it's just.
Did it?
You know.
Wow. They write. Listen, that's another studio that would be perfect for Game Pass. They would get content out so fast. I would think on a yearly basis, but those games are enjoyable. But they're the type of games that you're like I'll support the game, but like, is that something I really want? But with it being in Game Pass, you're like, yeah, I'll play it. Yeah, I'll play it.
It needs actually more game. That's my problem. Like, the
Yeah.
stories are great and the choices, but it just feels more like watching a comic book. And then when you get to the certain
Right.
parts, you just kind of click, or it's basically like a
Yeah.
quick. If
Few
you were
times,
able
yeah.
to play,
PT.
if you were able to play the game in real time, like from a third person view or whatever, but you still had a lot of those same choices in the narrative, I think that would be cool. Even if it was like you played the game and then when you talk to somebody, the game would kind of go into a bit of a, like, almost like a comic narration, and then you'd get into a dialogue and figure it out. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, you're totally right. But would that studio and episodic content like that would actually be tailor made for Game Pass? It would keep you coming
Absolutely.
back.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be worried about dropping. Like, I think one of the problems with the Telltale games is again, they overdid it. They went to the well too many times. It went from being this was a novelty and we really enjoy it to, oh, let's make The Walking Dead, let's make another Walking Dead, and then let's make like, how many games did they make in
Game of Thrones.
And then you had to wait. You had to wait
From the
months for the
Borderlands.
other episodes, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Tales of Borderlands actually was pretty good.
That was
The Wolf Among Us.
Yeah.
They have a
Yeah.
Wolf Among Us 2 coming out, for those who didn't know.
Yeah. I saw that too. Yeah.
But you can't go to the well too far too often. And again, episodic content is not the greatest way when it comes to a game where you literally have to wait months in between each episode. You know what I mean? Because you've moved on. You're probably playing something else and already forgotten half the shit you just did in the first one. It's kind of hard to get into it. Like, I want to play it all in one shot. It's kind of like binge watching a great TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Who made that Batman Telltale series? Who did that?
They did.
They did. They
Yeah.
made that one.
Yeah.
That one was very good.
Listen, wait. Bob answered his own question by saying
Yeah,
he made that
exactly.
Telltales.
That's what I was about to say. No, you make that who made like I was about to say that like who?
Who made the
But
Telltale
whoever
Batman?
made the Telltale.
You're like,
Oh
him made
man.
Bungie's Halo.
Hey, that Telltale Batman series is actually pretty good.
Yeah,
I
that's
have to
good.
give it to them. The story was really good. I don't know who
Yeah.
writes for them, but they really write some mean stories.
Seriously, I really want now for all the game developers to name their games like Capcom Street
Oh,
Fighter.
put
It's
their name
amazing.
inside the game. Yeah, actually, when
Shout
you
out
think about it,
to
that'd be smart. That would
shout
actually be
out to
pretty
Cozy
soft.
Beluga in the chat. He said missed opportunity. We
Koozie.
never got a Mass Effect Mass Effect Telltale game.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
what would it be?
Oh
But what
wow,
would it
now
be then?
I'd have been
But
all over
what
that.
would it be like? What would it be then? Like
Risk it, save a bunch of
BioWare,
Xbox.
BioWare's Telltale Mass
Yeah.
Effect.
Did you see what I told him? I said,
Yeah,
I put it
yeah.
on screen. I say, look, hey, in these parts, I'm known as X
X
Bob.
Bob.
Oh, oh goodness.
Yeah, I
Okay,
saw that
so
number that they added the Michonne. I don't think I even played that one. So I'm gonna play that one, and they added the last in the series of The Walking Dead. Now that Walking Dead from the first all the way up to the end was
Yeah.
spectacular. That was a spectacular story. It was really emotional too, but that was a spectacular story.
The evolution of Clementine was really good to watch in that series.
Yeah, it
too.
was. Yeah.
I wish I had the attention span for games like that, man. If I'm like,
I
I'm
think you
so
got to be in a
addicted to
mood.
multiplayer. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I gotta
I
have
mean,
that like feeling of fighting another human. You know, like, you
Right.
know what I mean?
currently watching me call it Supermassive Games basically continues on with that with their series like Man of Medan and all those, the
Right.
Dark Tales. They do the same thing, but their games are obviously more graphically advanced. They look amazing, and there is more gameplay in their games as opposed to kind of watching and then point clicks, that sort of stuff. So,
I do it. I would disagree, but okay.
but their
Because
their
I
games
played
more.
one. I felt like it was kind of boring. I played through it because I wanted the achievement and I wanted to see what happened at the end. But I just felt like it was boring.
Did you play Until Dawn? That was still their best one.
No, I played the newest one. What's the one called?
The Quarry.
Ashes, House of Ashes, which was actually a really good story,
Yeah, that
though.
was
Really
good.
good story.
No, but you
Yeah,
get,
I
you know
would
what I'm saying?
recommend it.
But you know what I'm saying? You get a little more control over your character. Like there's a
Yeah,
lot
you
of the
do.
games
Yeah,
you feel like you're actually playing a game. Whereas in
yeah.
Telltale, you basically kind of like you walk 3 feet one way or 4 feet another, and then you click something. You know what I mean?
Right. And most of it is QT.
Yeah.
So, last topic of the night. We've all been watching it on screen all night long. I hope everybody has played Resident Evil 8 in its original form. And just
I
by
haven't played at all.
seeing the winner's expansion in third person, what do you think?
I
Power
love the
Man,
way it
go
looks.
first.
This a topic?
I think that's
Oh,
a big
yeah.
bitch.
Yeah, that is a big bitch right there. Totally.
He was like, "Wait, we talking about this for real?"
No, I mean, when we can say last topic, I'm thinking, okay, this should be good, and I'm like, seriously?
I mean, I gotta be honest, guys. I haven't played this game, so I don't know. Maybe I will try it now that it's. I don't know. Maybe I'll give it a shot. I guess I missed the bus on it, guys. You know, but
I liked it a lot better than 7.
yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
I thought 7 was really good.
Who
Although
was it earlier that said they'd like to see 7 in third person?
I did. I said I wouldn't
don't
mind that.
think. See, I don't think it would work because 7 had that whole person under, the people under the stairs feel.
Yeah, the whole aesthetic of it. Yeah, I got you.
The whole aesthetic of going, between walls and under stairs and under floors. And I don't really know how that would work third person wise because first person really puts you in it.
Right.
I just want to know, what does that guy have in that bottle that's healing these massive wounds?
No, he has.
And I
Right?
remember
He's
Resident
like
Evil
he's
7,
missing half his hand.
and Resident Evil 7, when they like cut his leg off with the shovel, and he just like puts it back in place and pours some water on it, and it's like reconnected. I'm like, what's this guy made of, bro?
Yeah. I was like, is that peroxide? I was
Yeah.
It is a
peroxide.
medical miracle, sir.
I need a bottle of that shit.
Yeah, right.
I mean, like he's like Wolverine. He's just needs water.
It's Wolverine juice. Yeah, we'll call it
Yeah.
that from now on.
Doesn't
Man
make
cut
your
off his
penis
whole leg,
grow.
and he just taped it back on. I was like,
Oh yeah, listen, if you could make a whole new one, like wow.
is it like a
I know
Hydra?
why.
Like if you cut it off,
Why?
then two more grow
Yeah,
back? Like,
right.
Uncle,
I know
help
why
me
I
out
buy
with
2 bottles.
help me out with something in the chat here, guys. So Risk It for the Biscuit says this is the new time shot, and I love it. KY Bob, keep it here, brother. What are you talking
I
about?
think he meant time slot.
Your time slot.
Oh,
Yeah, like
okay, yeah.
Thursdays
Well, we like this
versus
time slot.
Wednesday.
We like this day. A couple of people have asked me why I moved to Wednesdays for 2 weeks and then went back to Thursdays.
Because you're indecisive.
Well, no, it's not that I'm indecisive. It's no,
You want to be rich.
it's not a
and
mystery.
that's
We've
what
said it
I'll
on
help
the
you.
show. We've said it on Twitter that our
Have
chat,
we?
our live
I
chat
remember
during the
saying it.
show drives us. And
I
when we
don't know
moved to
his
Wednesdays, we
Bushido.
lost our live chat by 3/4.
Bushido, I swear to you, I have no idea what he's talking about, but okay.
Me either. Yeah, I don't remember this conversation ever.
I haven't agreed. I haven't agreed with that.
Yeah, shout out to Caper Grant. Yeah, this was a good show, Caper. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, appreciate it, bro.
With that, I think we're all going to get out of here. We're going to live our lives, and we're going to go. Some of us are going to eat, some of us are going to sleep, and some of us are going to play games.
Yes.
So I'm going to start
I'm
with
gonna
the
do all
slot right below me, Mr. Bushido. Sir, what have you been playing, and where can people find you?
I've been playing. I finished Cyberpunk, like I was saying earlier. I got the crappy ending because I picked that one on purpose because I said, let's get the crappy endings out of the way and then go for the good ones later. So I picked the crappy ending because I picked stuff I would have never done. When they gave the option like, hey, you want to have this person involved? In my head, I was like, no, why? So I was like, all right, I'll take this one for now. Get it out the way. Good, man. I love the game. Great game. I give it a 9. The game is really great. I've been playing COD like nonstop, and mainly because I need to rank my weapons up because I've been having some good games with this garbage, but when I pick up somebody else's weapon, I'm slaying. So I'm trying to get my weapons upgraded, and I like playing that third person mode. I didn't think I would, but I actually do like it. And I think that's it. Oh, I still haven't finished scoring yet. Want to, but jumped in something else.
All right. And Mr. Bushido, do you have anything to say to the community this evening?
Yes, I do. Tonight is going to be the last night for the foreseeable future. Mr. Bushido has a heart condition that's really been bugging him, and it's gotten a little bit worse physically as far as feeling ill is concerned. So I have to take a break for a while until it gets resolved. And I don't like being undependable. I might be on this week, I might not be on. I couldn't do it yesterday for Spooky Show, but I felt a little bit better to be able to do it today. But I didn't want to be like that. It almost looks as if you got favoritism also too, and I don't like the optics of that. So I'm gonna stop for a while, and hopefully I'll be able to return sometime next year. I have a series of tests they want me to do, especially before we talk about getting a transplant. So, but yeah, I'd like to thank a lot of the guys too for being supportive. Guys giving me some really great messages just before anybody knew I was sick, saying like, hey, I like it when you do this. I think this, you're great, and whatever. I really do appreciate that. I really do. It really touches me to have someone appreciate your simpleness and find it enjoyable. I hope the best for everybody else. You'll still see me in the community. I'll help out in the background, with the show. And hopefully I'll be back ready to roll again. Full speed.
Well, let me just say, first of all, I didn't know that, and I'm sorry to hear of your issues, and I hope that you get it looked into and everything works out well for you. And second of all, man, you were an amazing
Appreciate
guest on GAD when you were there, and I can't
Had
believe
a
I never
ball.
had you on prior to this, and would love to have you back on.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You're really good at this, man. You just got great delivery, good timing, and you're just a fun guy. And I wish you all the best.
And I really appreciate it because I've told people from both the other podcasts that it was like I only got to be on with Noof once, and it was on Doomsayers. But then after that, we had him on. I think we had him here. Did we have him here? And I missed that one. It was either here or it was on a Spooky Show, and I was mad because I was like, "How many times am I going to be able to do a show with freaking Noof?" And I was like, "Oh, whatever, man." So I just couldn't make it. I couldn't make it. So when I heard about it tonight, I was glad again to be able to get on with you again. So always support the show, even if I'm not in the chat. I'm always listening. So it was an honor for some of you guys like Bobby and the Don, Fabio, and Power Man. I like to thank guys like Spooky and my man Chuck Magic from their show, giving me the opportunity to and let me be the simpleton that I am. So I really do love podcasts, and I didn't think I would. I thought it'd be just nice to talk gaming with people, but it became a lot more than that. So, but I appreciate everybody. Thank you.
Well,
Bob, could you please put Cozy Beluga message back there on the screen?
which
Was it
one?
about Mass Effect or is it about
4 words.
Yes, exactly. This one. I think that sums up everything, Bushido.
what'd she say?
We
Oh,
love
take it
you,
easy, mate.
Bushido.
Well, Whiskey for
appreciate
the
that.
Biscuit
Thank you.
says, "I'll touch you, Bushido."
Yeah, Risk it does say, "I'll touch you, Bushido."
Okay, I think that sums up really well what everyone thinks of it.
I appreciate it. I thank everybody. I appreciate it. I really do.
And in behind the scenes, I call him Mr. Bush, the professional, because he really does. Brother, you do approach this as a professional, and you do, like Noof said, you got a very clean delivery, and I consider you an asset on this show, and I'm sure you're considered an asset on the other shows you're on, and we will miss you, sir. And
Appreciate it. Thank
speedy
you.
recovery.
Especially that. I would like to at least get better, at least so I could game. Like there's sometimes I just can't play. I just feel really nauseous and so forth. So at least let me feel better so I could game. You know what I mean?
Yes. And at least, we know. Was it Wise Old Gamer thought his avatar had 2 penises?
Actually,
Oh, when he said that, I was like, where would you get that from?
look who
But
is
of course,
here
only Wise.
look who's here in chat just for you.
Appreciate it.
This man goes XYZ.
Yeah, I blocked them. I don't know how they got past my bots, but they got past them.
We'll have to bring them on the podcast.
My bots must be perverts. They were like, "Ooh, look at this."
Hey,
we have to spread the word here.
when
We
Noof
can
is on
see
the
it here.
podcast, it's bound to happen.
We can see it here on the dashboard, but it's absent on YouTube. It's not there. Power Man 4K, sir, what have you been playing? Where can people find you?
Oh man, I've been playing the same stuff, man, and I
Great
think
answer.
but I just think it's I really do, Bushido, man. I hope you're okay. I do feel like I still remember when we started like talking, man, and we were like naming off stuff that we liked. And it was like the same stuff, bro. It was like like the same. You know what I mean? So I feel like we kind of
I remember that. Yeah.
Similar backgrounds and interests and stuff. So I always thought that was really cool, and it's always fun. I think that your voice is such an asset to the podcast, and I genuinely hope that you can come back. And if at any point, and I know that I speak for everybody, that you're feeling like you're up to it, like you're always welcome on the show. Whenever we're doing it,
Definitely.
you know what I'm saying? So you know,
Bob was like, I don't know about that.
you feel encouraged.
No, definitely. Definitely. I could have Phil
appreciate that.
Spencer on as a guest, and he's my only slot. I could have Phil Spencer, and Mr. Bush will come in and say, Bobby, I'm feeling pretty good tonight. I'll be like,
you sure
I'll be
right.
DMing Phil
You
Spencer
sure
being, I'm
right.
sorry, Phil, but Mr. Bush can come on.
Oh man, yeah. When I said guys saying nice things, I meant guys that are in the chat. Like the guys in the chat, like we follow each other on Twitter and on Xbox, and we get to talk from time to time and play games time to time. These are really great guys, man. Our community is fantastic. I really do love our community.
Yeah, same. Yeah, and I've always felt like that, dude. Like, no matter what I choose to play on, I feel like this community that we're in has always been kind of agnostic with that kind of stuff, man. They're just gamers, dude. You
I
know what I
agree.
mean?
I agree.
They love to play games. They might have a preference, but they just enjoy gaming. You know what I mean? Regardless of where it's at.
I've started to learn you just sometimes like you just got to put the blinders on. You just got to move past some of the bullshit. You've kind of got to see beyond the persona or the shit that puts out there and know that we're all here for the same reason. We're all here to have fun or have games, and some people have fun with the console war shit, but behind everything, some people really aren't as serious about it as they seem. It's just like I said, it's all fake personas and shit, and you come here to just have fun and just try to ignore it all and just be yourself. And like I said, if you hang out with the right people and you get into the right groups and you play games with awesome people and stuff like community game nights and shit, which Bushido can attest.
They're so fantastic. They really are.
That's where it's at, man. That's how I roll.
You want to talk about laughing all night, and nobody really necessarily only the people up top care about the score because they're on top and they gotta have something to brag about with the top three guys, right? But besides that, everybody else is just laughing, having a ball. It's nowhere near worried about the score. If you do well, you just say something and you get complimented, by the guys. Yeah. But look, man, it's the camaraderie, it's the enjoyment of just being with people that are like-minded, like yourself, and especially with maturity is concerned too. So yeah, it's been a ball with that.
At our age and with our lives these days, that's the closest we're going to get to the old LAN parties of our childhood.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. LAN parties are magical.
The days, man.
Eating pizza, drinking beer, and fucking playing Halo. That's the shit.
Yes, sir.
Man. Yeah.
Our esteemed guest, Noof Nukem. What have you been playing, and where can people find Mr. Boom Boom Kaboom Arnold?
Well, first of all, for those who didn't know, I managed to get through an entire podcast and I didn't fart tonight, so that's pretty good.
Nice.
Yes, where to find me, of course, Tuesday nights gaming after dark, and starting this Sunday, as a matter of fact, for those who aren't in the know, I'm taking Good Morning Xbox back to my channel with my usual cast of characters of Axel,
cool.
Eternal Shaddai, and Cool Cat Terry, and Scrubners. So looking forward to getting back with my old crew and coming to people 2 times a week, not overloading the whole airwaves, but just enough, and of course early enough and late enough. I'm kind of on each end of the spectrum, so hopefully people will come out and support and enjoy a great show. And for those who are not really acquainted with my Good Morning Xbox, I hate to say it, for some people, yes, I tone things down quite considerably. It is a morning show and it's tailor-made for all ages, where GAD is, of course, it's the no holds barred Noof Nukem, where anything everything goes, and that's the way that show's always run. So thanks for the support, and most importantly, thanks KY Bob and to the entire panel here tonight for just having me on. It was a surprise invitation, but one I just couldn't refuse. I know haven't been able to make all your invitations, but I was glad to oblige tonight, and it was a fun show.
And it was great to have you. Fabio, my Brazilian brother, what have you been playing? How much is milk in Brazil? And where can people find you?
Well, according to Google, let me just check here. Ah, fuck it. I don't care. So we're just.
What are you checking the Google Maps?
So no, it's because I will have to convert to dollar, and I'm just way too tired for that shit right
Yeah,
now.
I think last time you told us it was like $10 or something like that.
Last
US.
week? What do you mean last week?
Yeah, whatever week it was we asked you last. It was like $10 or $12, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah, like always great to be here. And like what I've been playing, yeah, I've been playing a little bit of Madden, NBA 2K22, as well as Overwatch. I'm enjoying it. Yes, I would love for Overwatch 2 to actually be a sequel, but it's not. But
I
yeah,
saw you brought that up too. Yeah.
that's what I've been playing. I'm enjoying that, having fun. But great show. Thank you so much for having me here always. And where you can find me, well, it's on the screen.
All right, next show, I'm taking that off. No, I'm not really. No.
It's way
And
better. It's way better just to say it's on the screen.
It is, isn't it? Isn't it?
it's on the screen. This is your host, KY Bob, coming to you every Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 2 a.m. British Standard Time. The host of Game Set Live with my wonderful panel of brothers here and the occasional great guest at the last minute. It was great to see everybody. It was great to be seen. Thank you for telling a buddy or two, and have a great weekend. Good night, everybody.
Have a great night, everyone.